So for this second functional check flight, the first goal was to confirm that with that oil shroud removed, we were going to have better cooling. So that was number one. But the second thing was that now that the weather had lifted, I could actually climb up to a representative cruise altitude, and we could actually start to get some data points on what the cruise portion of the ferry was going to look like. So we don't have an oxygen system, so we weren't going to fly higher than 12.5. So we were planning, okay, we're going to fly at 12.5. Quentin and I had talked about what power settings to run the engine at, so we knew what power settings we were going to run. And you can look that up in the manual, and you can get a pretty good idea what the fuel flow is. But now we'd like to confirm it. And then the last thing is, as you're working your way cross country, making sure you understand all the little things that are going to come to effect, especially if you have to deal with weather. At this point, we had talked about the weather in the area that morning. That was a big front that was coming in across the Gulf of Mexico. And so in order for me to get out soon as possible, I was going to have to negotiate that weather. And so when you start negotiating weather, you start dealing with things like clouds moving in faster than expected or slower than expected, or ground visibilities being less than you expected or more than expected. And what that means is you might have to divert. So you're on the ground and you're checking weather and you got your plan for where you're going to go. You get airborne and you get a call from flight service that, oh, that airport's socked in, or oh, the rain got worse, or whatever. We're going to have to divert. And as you start working through those divert scenarios, things like how much gas am I really comfortable pulling out of each tank? How much runway is the minimum I'm comfortable landing at? Will that airport have Jet A? Those things all become really important. And when you're moving down range at 200 or 300 miles an hour, things can happen pretty fast. So the plan was to learn as much as we could, as close to the land as we could. Again, take a look at that tailwheel gear door. So we were airborne for about an hour on that flight, burning 43 gallons of gas between the two tanks. Oil temperature was stable at 7 degrees with a peak temperature at 72 during the climb. And we were able to get some cruise numbers. So running 660 degrees at 1850 RPM, we were doing about 220 knots indicated. So this gave us everything we needed to get the flight planning done. And it was time to head home. And a little more footage of that tailwheel gear door. Here's the big moment we've been leading up to all day. Watch that tailwheel gear door, and snap. That door flapping was caused by this broken rod end in the gear door system.